Welcome to Year in Review, the show where we break down a year to bring you some of the most notable moments in TV and film month by month. Welcome to 2021, where it was in with the new, but also in with the old. Friends, that is. Warner Brothers shook up the film industry by releasing their entire slate of movies on HBO Max as well as in theaters, and fans finally got the Friends reunion they've been waiting years for. Could that be any more awesome? But what else made this year so memorable and why? Let's take a look in the rearview mirror and see what we find. Here's your Year in Review 2021 edition.
Wanda and Vision.
We are an unusual couple, you know. We don't have an anniversary.
Huh.
Or a song. Or even wedding rings.
Well, we could remedy that.
Making itself seen in January was the new series WandaVision, the first in a string of live-action Marvel shows popping up on Disney+. Featuring Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda Maximoff and Paul Bettany's Vision, and set after the events of Avengers Endgame, the show blends the style of classic sitcoms with the MCU as the pair are living out their ideal suburban lives, until they aren't.
Mom, are you coming down soon? Mom, our game is freaking out.
The series was brought to the small screen by Jack Schaefer, who also had a hand in writing Marvel's Black Widow film released later in 2021. And despite being a hit with critics and fans alike, the possibility of a second season of this limited series remains as mysterious as the show itself, with many of the actors busy working on other Marvel projects. Critics say, part loving homage to TV history, part off-kilter mystery, WandaVision is a wonderfully weird and strikingly bold step into the small screen for the MCU, and a perfect showcase for Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany.
할머니는 진짜 할머니 같지 않아요.
할머니 같은 게 뭔데?
쿠키도 만들고 나쁜 말도 안 하고 남자 팬티도 안 입고.
After its world premiere at the Sundance Film Festival in January 2020, Minari officially hit theaters in February 2021 with its eyes on the prize, aka the Oscars. Starring Steven Yeun of Walking Dead fame, the film follows a Korean-American family who starts a farm in 1980s Arkansas in search of their own American dream. From one of the hottest studios in Hollywood, A24, and with Brad Pitt serving as an executive producer, Minari had plenty going for it. The film became an award show darling, bringing in 6 Oscar noms, including Steven Yeun becoming the first Asian American to be nominated for Best Actor. Meanwhile, Ye Jung-yoon took home the film's only win for Best Supporting Actress. Critics say, led by arresting performances from Steven Yeun and Yeri Han, Minari offers an intimate and heart-wrenching portrait of family and assimilation in 1980s America.
I need everybody to repeat after me. I am a revolutionary. I am a revolutionary.
Who needs school when you can get a dramatized history lesson in the form of Judas and the Black Messiah? Lakeith Stanfield and Daniel Kaluuya star in the film about FBI informant William O'Neill, who infiltrates the Illinois Black Panther Party to keep tabs on their charismatic leader, Fred Hampton.
Look, we oppressed your people for a long time.
I didn't oppress and my folks grew up poor. They were sharecroppers.
AKA the overseer.
What if the overseer had banded with the slaves and cut the masters through? Well then, comrade.
Judas and the Black Messiah also features stars like Jesse Plemons, Dominique Fishback, and Martin Sheen. The film picked up 6 Academy Award nominations, including one for Best Picture, and took home a pair for Best Original Song and Best Supporting Actor for Daniel Kaluuya. And yes, it is based on a true story, so you might learn something, but stay in school, kids. Critics say an electrifying dramatization of historical events, Judas and the Black Messiah is a forceful condemnation of racial injustice and a major triumph for its director and stars. The only thing better than a legendary mythical monster in a movie is two legendary mythical monsters in a movie, which is what we got with Godzilla vs. Kong from cult horror director Adam Wingard. The film features Alexander Skarsgård and Stranger Things star Millie Bobby Brown and follows King Kong and his protectors as they embark on a journey to find his true home. But they find themselves in the path of a very angry Godzilla, destroying his way around the globe in true Godzilla fashion. Godzilla vs. Kong was the first film in 59 years to feature both King Kong and Godzilla, and it earned over $122 million worldwide during its international opening weekend. A pretty monstrous opening considering the ongoing pandemic. Critics say, delivering squarely on its title, Godzilla vs. Kong swats away character development and human drama to deliver all the spectacle you'd expect from giant monsters slugging it out.
Even if they did kick me off the thing, it's still my case. You know what it's like when a case gets inside you like that? It's not a switch you can just turn off.
She may not be the mayor of Easttown, but Kate Winslet is the Mare of Easttown in the hit limited series for HBO. The Oscar-winning actress plays a small-town Pennsylvania detective who is investigating a murder while dealing with her life crumbling around her. She also nailed the perfect Philadelphia accent for the part and drank plenty of beers while doing it.
Mom. Yeah? We're having a family meeting.
The hell's a family meeting?
All right, family meeting in the dining room, okay?
Winslet was joined by a stellar supporting cast headlined by Gene Smart, Evan Peters, and Kate's real-life good friend Julianne Nicholson, who Kate recommended for the role. And it took a Titanic-sized boat to hold the show's 16 Emmy nominations, with Winslet, Peters, and Nicholson each walking away as winners. Critics say, grounded by a career-best Kate Winslet, Mare of Easttown's ambition at times exceeds its reach, but its central mystery is supported by such strong sense of place and character, it hardly matters.
What was your name?
Cruella.
Oh. That's quite fabulous. And you designed this?
You did, actually. 1965 collection.
Oh, no wonder I love it. It's mine.
I fixed it.
Cruella is a live-action prequel to the animated Disney classic 101 Dalmatians. It's set in 1970s London during the rebellious early days of one of the most notorious and fashionable Disney villains. Audiences were anything but cruel as they loved the outfits, the soundtrack, and of course the Emmas, Stone and Thompson, with Stone bringing her own special flair to the classic character of Cruella, minus the cigarette smoking, of course. Critics say Cruella can't quite answer the question of why its title character needs an origin story, but this dazzling visual feast is awfully fun to watch whenever its leading ladies lock horns.
Ronnie, what we got? We got units headed out there now, EMS and fire. Whereabouts? I think up by Walker's farm.
Just when you thought it was safe to make a little noise again, along comes A Quiet Place Part 2 to give you a big time swoosh. John Krasinski may have been directing once again, but this time he left most of the acting to his real and on-screen wife Emily Blunt and the rest of his on-screen family as they continue to fight for their survival in silence. With a budget 3 times the size of the first film, this one finds the Abbott family venturing outside the comfy, quiet confines of their sand trail-surrounded home, where they meet some new characters played by Cillian Murphy and Jaimon Hounsou, and quickly learn that the creatures that have been hunting them by sound aren't the only threats that they face, because now they can't blink either. Oh wait, they can? Never mind, I'm totally kidding. The film loudly grabbed the biggest opening weekend of the COVID-19 pandemic to that point and grossed nearly $300 million worldwide, while also hitting the Paramount Plus streaming service 45 days after its theatrical release. You may love this movie, but remember, shh. Critics say a nerve-wracking continuation of its predecessor, A Quiet Place Part 2 expands the terrifying world of the franchise without losing track of its heart.
The electricity shot. Half the roof got taken in the hurricane. Thus the low asking price, the quick sell.
El sueñito. Pop's little dream.
The creator of Hamilton, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and the director of Crazy Rich Asians, John M. Chu, come together for the big screen musical In the Heights. Anthony Ramos plays a sweet-natured bodega owner with big dreams, saving every penny from his daily grind as he imagines and sings about a better life. If this doesn't make you want to sing your way down the street next time you take a walk, what will? Critics say lights up for In the Heights, a joyous celebration of heritage, community, fueled by dazzling direction and sing-along songs. Coming in fast and furious too, I suppose, is the pure definition of a summer blockbuster, F9 The Fast Saga, released almost exactly 20 years after the first film in the franchise. And yeah, that's a lot of fast cars. Franchise regular Justin Lin returned to the director's chair for a 5th time to do F9, which finds Dom Toretto leading a quiet life off the grid with Letty and his son Little Brian. Aww. But of course, danger lurks just over the peaceful horizon, and he eventually finds himself back with the crew, looking to stop the most skilled assassin and driver they've ever encountered. And oh yeah, he just happens to be Dom and Mia's estranged brother Jacob, played by John Cena.
Otto, sending you new pickup location.
The film grossed over $720 million at the worldwide box office and set the stage for a sequel to be released in 2023, which could possibly be the end to the saga. But come on, do we really believe that? Critics say F9 sends the franchise hurtling further over the top than ever, but director Justin Lin's knack for preposterous set pieces keeps the action humming. Hey, we did that whole part without saying family.
Okay, you got a plan, or shall I just stay duck and cover?
My plan was to drive us away.
Well, your plan sucks.
After 3 new Marvel series that hit Disney Plus in 2021 kicked things off, Black Widow became the first film in Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was directed by Kate Shortland and her first foray into superhero films. Isn't that super? Scarlett Johansson returns as Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, for an official 8th time, as the character is faced with a dangerous conspiracy and forced to confront her past relationships and history as a spy from before she became an Avenger.
I want to say something right off the bat. You haven't aged a day, huh? You're just as beautiful and as supple as the day they staged our marriage.
You got fat, but still good.
Scarlett got some help in this high-flying flick from Florence Pugh, Rachel Weisz, and David Harbour as Red Guardian, the Russian super soldier counterpart to Captain America and a father figure to Natasha. What a cool dad! The film was delayed 3 times from an original May 2020 release due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but it seemed to be worth the wait for audiences who loved getting a little character development mixed in with all the blockbuster Marvel action. Critics say Black Widow's deeper themes are drowned out in all the action, but it remains a solidly entertaining standalone adventure that's rounded out by a stellar supporting cast.
This is real.
You don't understand.
Okay, I will show you that. Okay, Candyman.
No!
Candyman!
Coming in August was the horror flick Candyman. Bet you can't say that 5 times fast into a mirror. No, wait, don't do it! The film is a direct sequel to the 1992 film of the same name and stars Yahya Abdul-Mateen II and Tiona Paris, returning to the now gentrified Chicago neighborhood where the legend began. The film also features Vanessa Williams, Virginia Madsen, and Tony Todd reprising their roles from the original film.
He'd been hiding in the walls.
Horror filmmaking all-star Jordan Peele was a co-writer for Candyman, along with Win Rosenfeld and director Nia DaCosta, who's now set to direct another sequel, 2023's The Marvels. And it's gonna be marvelous, right? Sorry, I just had to. Critics say Candyman takes an incisive, visually thrilling approach to deepening the franchise's mythology and terrifying audiences along the way. The second Marvel film of the year and of Phase 4 in the MCU was Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Starring Simu Liu as Shang-Chi alongside stars like Awkwafina, Tony Leung, Benedict Wong, Michelle Yeoh, and Ben Kingsley. Sorry, Sir Ben Kingsley. In the film, Shang-Chi and his sister are drawn into the web of the mysterious Ten Rings organization by their father, who is also the leader. Talk about family drama.
You okay?
As the first Marvel film with an Asian lead and director and predominantly Asian cast, fans loved seeing the franchise covering new cultural ground while keeping the same action, comedy, and emotion they've come to expect. Critics say Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings isn't entirely free of Marvel's familiar formula, but this exciting origin story expands on the MCU in more ways than one. The surprise streaming hit of the year was undoubtedly the Netflix series Squid Game, where hundreds of cash-strapped contestants compete for a big prize by playing children's games, but with deadly stakes. So yeah, definitely not a kid's show.
모르겠어. 그럼 그냥 가.
The project was being shopped around for nearly a decade before it finally got some interest from Netflix. And considering Bloomberg reported that the series had brought in nearly $1 billion worth of publicity to the streaming giant, yeah, with a B, there's probably plenty of people out there kicking themselves for not getting in on all the fun and games. Critics say Squid Game's unflinching brutality is not for the faint of heart, but sharp social commentary and a surprisingly tender core will keep viewers glued to the screen, even if it's while watching between their fingers.
Maybe wants to spill the beans about where the missing bodies are buried. So you're gonna have to do the right thing for a change.
No! Take your tiny hands off of me!
Along with the usual Halloween shenanigans, October also brought us Carnage, as in Venom, Let There Be Carnage. It's the second film in Sony's Spider-Man universe and the sequel to 2018's Venom. With Andy Serkis serving as director, Tom Hardy is once again Eddie Brock, still struggling to coexist with the shape-shifting extraterrestrial Venom. But they're forced to put their differences aside to take on the film's big baddie, Cletus Cassidy, played by Woody Harrelson.
Buddy, I'm the only person that took you in when your friends kicked you off the planet Ming-Mong because you are a reject. You are a pariah. Lethal protection, my ass. You couldn't protect anything. You are useless. You can get a job down here cleaning toilets.
Audiences love the abundance of action, fun fight scenes, and all the comedy. But most importantly, the can't-miss post-credit surprise is where all the buzz is. Don't miss it. Critics say a sequel aimed squarely at fans of the original's odd couple chemistry, Venom Let There Be Carnage eagerly embraces the franchise's sillier side.
Can I trust you with something? I've been having dreams about a girl fallen in battle. Felt like a vision.
Dreams make good stories, but everything important happens when we're awake.
And coming in hot in October, as in the desert planet of Arrakis hot, was the much anticipated Dune, directed by Denis Villeneuve. Did that rhyme? And doing their best not to get sand in their shoes was the epic ensemble cast that includes Timothée Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Oscar Isaac, Josh Brolin, Stellan Skarsgård, Dave Bautista, Zendaya, David Dastmalchian, Jason Momoa, and Javier Bardem.
The Emperor asks us to bring peace to Arrakis. House Atreides accepts.
This marks the third adaptation of Frank Herbert's 1965 novel, following David Lynch's 1994 film and John Harrison's miniseries from the year 2000. Fans and critics have been digging this version of Dune, and good news for them because the film primarily only covers the first half of the book, and a second part is planned for a 2023 release. Gosh, Dune it, that sounds great. The dads out there will like that one. Critics say Dune occasionally struggles with its unwieldy source material, but those issues are largely overshadowed by the scope and ambition of this visually thrilling adaptation. Marvel fans were eternally grateful for a third Marvel film in 2021, and it came in the form of Eternals. The film brings a new team of superheroes to the MCU, a group of ancient aliens who have been living on Earth for thousands of years, emerging from the shadows after the events of Avengers Endgame to reunite against mankind's most ancient enemy, the Deviants. Yikes, they don't sound good at all.
You guys are gonna love the next scene. I come in on a wire, because, I can't fly. Wait, are we getting back together?
We need to talk.
The Deviants are back. We don't know how many there are.
The film's ensemble cast includes Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, Kit Harington, Gemma Chan, Richard Madden, Kumail Nanjiani, Leah McHugh, Brian Tyree Henry, Lauren Ridloff, Don Lee, and Harish Patel. Yes, it's a lot of names, but the film also has a lot of action, so it totally balances out. Critics say, an ambitious superhero epic that soars as often as it strains. Eternals takes the MCU in intriguing and occasionally confounding new directions.
Started getting some visitors. From every universe.
Hello, Peter.
Movie fans received the gift of two of the most highly anticipated films of the past few years in December of 2021, starting with Spider-Man No Way Home, the sequel to Spider-Man's Homecoming and Far From Home. Because home is where the title is, apparently. And while everybody loves Spider-Man, except for maybe J. Jonah Jameson, the real excitement for this movie was due to villains from the past films and past universes making their way into this world.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Dr. Otto Octavius.
Wait, no, seriously, what's your actual name?
That includes Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin and Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus. With his identity unmasked, Peter Parker turns to Doctor Strange for help, but they end up breaking open the multiverse and allowing in plenty of unwanted guests, which usually happens when we try to throw a pizza party in the office. Audiences got caught up in Spider-Man's box office web with a monster debut, making it the third biggest opening weekend ever. The film grossed a whopping $253 million opening weekend, more in 3.5 days than any other film released in 2021. And at the time of this recording, the film is certified fresh with a 94% on the Tomatometer. Critics say a bigger, bolder Spider-Man sequel, No Way Home expands the franchise's scope and stakes without losing sight of its humor and heart.
You seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams. Am I crazy?
We don't use that word in here.
And finally, fans were delighted at the chance to once again ingest a strange pill after The Matrix Resurrections became the 4th installment in the Matrix film franchise, coming 18 years after the previous film. Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, and Jada Pinkett Smith reprised their roles from previous films in the series, and they're joined by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Jessica Henwick, Jonathan Groff, Neil Patrick Harris, Priyanka Chopra Jonas, and Christina Ricci. Whoa!
It happens when they...
After directing the first 3 Matrix movies alongside her sister Lily, Lana Wachowski went at this one by herself, also producing and co-writing the film, which finds Neo back inside the Matrix after his life takes an unexpected turn, to say the least. And there you have it, our highlights from a year of bounce-back, non-traditional blockbuster entertainment. As always, we couldn't go over every notable release from such a big year, but go easy on us, it was a tough one.